What's up, everybody? It's Make It Make Sense. Let me be the first to say, I think sometimes I'm a little hard on Ray J, but as I was doing this video, I'm thinking that we might need to view things in a little bit different of a way. Y'all will find out. I'm just going to say my mind is blown. Like the video's intro plays, we got a lot to get into.
I was listening to Make It Make Sense. Shout out to Make It Make Sense.
It makes sense.
Make it make sense to me intellectually.
It makes sense.
Make it make sense. You know what was up.
Big moves. Surfer. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense. Tell me how you squeeze it. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things that you say. Make it make sense. Tell me about the things of your dreams. Hey, let me work out all the things in between. Make it make sense.
You got pretty legs, man.
Oh, man.
And they lanolated.
Man, listen,
I mean,
I'm back working out.
You put shea butter, jerky.
Oh, you see that?
Lexi, literally this video was supposed to be about 10 or 12 minutes, but as I started like deep diving, it just kind of grew legs. And so, yeah, this was supposed to be a 10 or 12 minute video. I was actually supposed to put 2 videos out today, but then, you know, it didn't work that way. And I had to talk to a couple of sexual assault survivors and kind of go into what I wanted to do with this video. And at the end of it, you might have a little bit more compassion for Ray J. Because I was the first to say he was a troll, but now I'm seeing things just slightly different. I will be the first to tell you I'm amused at things like this. Y'all know we went live as soon as this video happened between Nicki and Ray J.
Attractive in like years, so I don't know how to be attractive. I just know how to be honest. And I'm telling you right now.
So listen, Ray J, you are ugly, but you don't have to say that.
That's
You
not
gotta
right.
you gotta learn be confident in yourself.
That hurt me. Nick.
Ugly people, you know, can do things too.
You hurt me. Now you hurt me again. Yo, Nick,
Funny. We were cracking up.
Nikki, why you hurt me?
He
Like
amuses me.
That's
He amuses me, but I'm also the first to call out when I think he's trolling.
going viral too much, and we want to eat all.
Who, me?
You do too.
No, I do.
Yeah, no,
The
I
only
do.
person
But
going viral is me.
Orlando and Ray J will always go down as a classic.
And
No, I
I'm
go
telling
viral.
you, no, you don't.
When Funny Marco don't have nothing to say, you know it. Classic content.
Can we do a vote?
So I'm like, okay, dude is always talking about going viral. That's how, you know, funny. Even, I mean, when he's over there talking about keeping old girls undergarments, because I'm trying to keep my monetization today, talking about keeping old girls undergarments and not bathing after they get it in. This is Ray J. This is Ray J trolling. This is what we are accustomed to. It goes a little bit deeper because now he adds real stuff in with the trolling.
None of them had no dirty shit happening at them. All that happening with Diddy is a conspiracy, y'all. Ain't been like first off, ain't been to no parties where spent everybody. I've been to a lot of Diddy parties. I know, and ain't none of them had no dirty shit happening at them.
But then he goes on to say stuff like this. Or this is the headline, I should say. Ray J tears up and cuts off stream after talking about his Diddy experience and how Whack 100 saved him.
That shit was the premier shit, the pure. Wherever you got it from, that was right after they made it. You wasn't even able to cut it. And I'm not even talking about no blow. It was some like extraterrestrial shit, bro. Niggas left me out there to dry, bro. The only nigga that had my back was Whack 100, bro. It was awkward. Y'all made me go through all that pain and pleasure. just to cancel me.
So he says stuff like that. Y'all are making me go through pain and pleasure. Whatever he had was stronger than coke. Y'all left me out to dry. All this pleasure and pain. It's mixed signals. And I'll tell y'all towards the middle of this video why I had to talk to some, people who had experienced assault, because I didn't really know how to take Ray J. I didn't know how to, like, what do you say to that? Is he just trolling? So let's move on to why I made this video. Somebody named No Vultures made a video actually a couple years ago, and then they re-released it. And when they re-released it, then there were headlines again about Ray J being potentially gay as it pertains to activities with Danny Boy. Now, again, I had never even seen this video. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I didn't even connect any dots between Mary J. Blige and Danny Boy until you guys in the chat were telling me about that. I had no idea, honestly, who this man was. But this video is basically the catalyst for this video. So let's listen. I don't want to what he had to say.
He like, yeah, and he say, Ray J said, I'm like, here we go. He say, Ray J said, you tried to get him to do some gay shit.
Is that what Ray J said to the barbershop?
Yeah.
Now, at this point, you hadn't came out yet. Okay.
I came out in that barbershop. Oh, should I say we came out? Fuck you gonna tell on me? Just say I forced you or some shit. So first shit I say was, yeah, we did this. I did this. Right. You did this. You did this. And I started pointing around in the room since we talking about. Right. I mean, I ain't know we was talking about gay shit. I thought we was talking about freaky shit. Right. Because if y'all whatever fuck y'all want to call it. Right. But since you want to throw the gay shit on me. Right. Since we all here, nigga. Let's be honest and tell him how gay we all was together. Yeah. And the nigga got mad because first off he couldn't whoop my ass. Okay. Because I said it, and I was light on what I didn't really say what we did. Right. Like if I say all the shit that I know the fuck that niggas be doing and shit, man, you wouldn't be calling me no motherfucking sissy and faggot, boy. Shut the fuck up, boy. Shut the fuck up, boy, and sit down. Right. Yeah. So he stopped talking to me because I guess I talk too much. Damn. But he didn't want to talk too much because he said that Danny Boy was trying to. So I'm like, what the fuck out of here, boy? Wow.
Now this was just released a couple days ago. This was 7 years ago, around the time he wrote the book. I'm telling you, stick with me. There's going to be some turns. This was 7 years ago, around the time he wrote the book, because his book was released in 2017.
It's a big misunderstanding of our friendship. And, at this point, we're grown. It's good to see Ray J married, and I think I've seen some maturity in him. And I'm sure we can get to a point where, that we speak to each other. We were friends, and we're still friends. We're still friends. We just haven't talked and haven't straightened out some of the old stuff. I think some of the trash cans need to be emptied, right? And redone. Control, Alt, Delete, start over. And I'm excited to even see that part because, like I said, we grew up in Hollywood together. I miss our friendship. The group of guys that used to hang around each other.
Shorty Mac,
oh
my guy,
Young Buck. Shorty Mac. I mean, we all hung around each other in Hollywood. His parents, I know his parents. You know what I mean? So it is hard, even when I've said some things about him in interviews. That's hard to say because I think of his parents. You know what I mean? I think of what they like.
So I'm slowly starting to see. Yeah, somebody said he was on Tupac's song. Yeah, I know the songs that he was in, but I did not know his name. I didn't know who was singing the hook in these songs. J Wood says, Mim, stop. Danny Boy sang Tupac songs. I ain't mad at you. Yeah, no, I know the songs, but I did not know who sang them. And we're going to get into the Booty Goon stuff too. So I'm listening to this interview. Put this back up.
That ain't even what I like, so I know I ain't try that.
Right.
So Danny Boy has just stated that he went to a barbershop in LA, a barbershop that he and Ray J frequented from the days of Death Row, and they were both hanging around there. And Ray J had told the barber that Danny Boy had tried, quote unquote, gay stuff with him and that he was a crackhead. So this plays into how Ray J delivers information. One running theme is you can't tell somebody who has been victimized in the past how they are to relay their story. Some of it may not be palatable to you, but Yet and still, you're not the victim. You can't tell. That was one of my issues with Ray J. Ray J comes out and says very outlandish things in, you could maybe even say, inappropriate spaces, and you don't know if you could take him seriously. But this was an indicator for me that maybe Ray J has been telling the truth about things, and it's just not easily digestible to us. So if you know anything about the barbershop, you'll know that your barber is probably going to know more about you than anybody else. Your barber for a dude is basically your first psychiatrist. So it was very interesting. That was a context clue for me. Ray J is telling his barber that this particular man had tried to do gay stuff with him.
Not gonna make me that.
Right. Yeah. So, like,
and disclaimer, I am not calling Ray J gay because I might want a scooty bike.
Right. they go fucking Ray.
Okay. So then I hear he's done another video 4 years ago with the Art of Dialogue, and he gives much more context to the story. Oh, sorry. Hold on.
No. Ray said you was back in the shop, you know, smoking crack, working at a funeral home, and some. And another dude that's sitting in the chair trying to be funny, he hollered from across the room. He's like, "Tell me the rest of the shit." I'm like, "What? Yeah, tell me the rest of the shit." Hear me? And Ray said that you was forcing some gay shit on. So, like, when he said it, you know, just the person, my reaction, I didn't, you know, I was wrong, and I guess I didn't wait for him to get there. I kind of get a reaction like, shit, yeah, okay. So Ray come walking in the barbershop. And, you know, they wasn't going to say nothing. They keep saying this stuff, and we still drinking, and one of the guys like, shit, he bring it up again. Hey, Ray, tell DB what you said about, you know, the gay shit. Ray like, man, stop playing, man. Something. He say something else. And I'm like, yeah, tell me. And then I just immediately started going around the room and started saying some things. I'm sure that made him upset. And
so you see, he left that out of the first interview. In the first interview, we did not know that Ray J actually entered the barbershop, and then he was challenged to repeat what he had said. Now, again, on its face, that doesn't really sound like too much. Somebody has tried to make you do some gay stuff. But in the space of the interview that we are listening to, he starts indicating words like young and starts talking about his personal relationship with Ray J being a very young individual who had full access to Death Row Records. And he's also indicating that this is before Ray J even had his driver's license. So that gives you like around 14, 15, potentially 16 years old. So when you think of it in that way, Ray J has told his barber that this man had at some point tried to do gay stuff with him. And this man is saying that he has known Ray J from a young age. It's keep listening.
Oh, I guess other people would probably say I fronted him off. Like, I fronted, like, nigga, if y'all gonna be talking about me, let's say how it really is. And I said some things, and from that time, we just really never talked again.
What did you say?
I ain't gonna say that because I've been really apologetic and trying to talk to Ray. But let me tell you this. I will promise you this. I shouldn't even say that, but I'm gonna say it anyway because I gotta say something. Only reason why I've settled because we share mutual friends that was friends along with us during that time. And they're still friends. They hang out. You know what I mean? And I just try my best not to do anything that's gonna damage their friendship or working in this industry. So I just kind of rather not say. But if you want to know from the reaction of him talking about me and putting those type of things out there about me, like, my job isn't to put anybody's business out publicly or on front or anything that I feel is a certain way, but I won't allow you to call me gay or faggots or any of those names. when.
For those of you who don't know, he is openly gay now, or he talks about being openly gay and more down low during his run with Death Row Records. I think he might be with Death Row again now that it's under like Snoop's tutelage. I think he's back with Death Row Records as of 2022.
And I mean, quite honest, I don't think you could say those things. We all could say things about each other that people would probably say was gay. And I was hurt that we were friends, that these things were said about him. And then later I started seeing him not talk to me, and now he's around Suge. And she's Suge's little homie. And I didn't have a problem with that. You know what I mean? Because I know everybody be saying, you be crying like Suge is your man. Suge, get the fuck out of here. At that time, I'm out at the time, Ray J couldn't even really hang around me when things got hot around Death Row. Even after that, things that got hot. Ray J was one of the people that was suggested because of his career and because of Brandy's career, that it wasn't best that he was around Death Row out loud, and he was young. So he wasn't really able to hang out like we were. But I was still going over to the house, but it was kind of at distance a little bit because all of this heat was on. And then, a few years later, I see him hanging around Suge and like, you don't mess with me. Like, that's just weird to me, man. I bought you around Suge. And you don't even I really believe that we was the homies. And I've seen interviews or heard people say that I was really never their homie like that. And that's just weird.
So Ray J was around Death Row, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, by way of me. He was with me. We hung out all the time. He would come up to the studio all the time and Suge knew who he was. He knew that was his Brandy brother. And yes.
Ray J
and Snoop's cousin.
They did an interview some years ago where he claims that he walked in the studio and he seen Faith Evans sitting on Tupac Love. How you feel about him saying that?
Shit, I believe him. That beef, pork, potato chip. We had beef. We shared like homieship for a long time. We ran around in LA. I started a crew called Committee that I actually took from Chicago. And Committee was spelled with a C in Chicago. I spelled it with a K. And Committee was a group of young Hollywood guys that was together, whether they were singers and actors or rappers. We had dancers. It was like a brotherhood that we had put together. And we hung out all the time. I'm talking about before Ray J was driving. Like, I remember times I let him drive. And that, I mean.
Before Ray J was driving. So now you're getting context into the time frame.
I'm not being funny about that. Right now, Ray J can buy anything and do anything he wants. And it just tripped me out how he became when he became Ray J.
Why you say that? Go into detail about that.
I mean, as I said, like we was homies. And there was times that, what really kicked it off, as I spoke about in my book, what really kicked it off was I went to LA after not going to LA because it was hard to be in LA for me.
So this interview got me to thinking. Most of the negative press around Ray J involves being potentially gay or bisexual. Let me take this off the screen.
Got mad because I told Kyle I want to take a shower with you and stream with you at ISO speed in the shower.
What?
Yeah, bro. I'm like, bro. I want to take a shower with you too. They're like, yo.
Hold on. What's your sexuality?
Just ask me about Amber.
I'm asking.
I have shout out to the agency. I shouted out to the agency. Actually, the agency's here. Dump and D, The Rod. They're the CEO.
Do you play both ways?
Come on, bro. I ain't never played both ways.
Okay. I think that's important to mention, because
really.
When you say you want to shower with another man,
think about it like this. People's sexuality. Why? What does that matter?
it does not. That's
then why? But why ask the question?
Because it's just like the question that I asked in regard.
ISO Speed is like one of the biggest streamers. I think he has like 26 million followers on YouTube alone. He does like tricks and stunts, and you know, the typical streamer is going to say and do wild stuff daily for 24 hours straight with multiple people coming in. So you say the most outlandish stuff, but he's also like very, very, very young.
Or to you saying that you're not a brother.
No, not you.
Okay.
I'm talking about in general. Like, why ask the question of what actual whole are people enjoying? That's what we're asking. Because somebody could be an ear fucker. What is they're not gay and they're not straight. They like ear holes. Who are they? A new name of hoes. It's irrelevant.
So yeah, Cam was confused. Most people were confused, but most of the headlines was Ray J's gay, Ray J's gay, Ray J's gay. Again, I pay attention to more of the funny stuff that involves Ray J, but when we're hearing Danny Boy discuss Ray J talking to just a barber about his experience, I'm not saying that Danny Boy tried to force anything on Ray J. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just going based on Danny Boy's interview. And Ray J, now that I've had a chance to reprocess this, seems like the type of person who just purges. And it's not just for attention because he's doing it in a barber chair. He's purging. And now I'm more inclined to believe that he's purging his truths. He is just letting it all out at all times, whether people are able to digest it or not. And that's why I was like, you might have a little bit different of a thought about Ray J when you piece all this together. You were hanging around Death Row Records 14, 15, before you even had a license. You were getting $1,200 as your allowance. You were purchasing cars before you had a license. And then we cut to Ray J as an older person. And we see headlines of this. We covered this on this channel. Prayers up, Ray J opens up about attempting to take his own life and says people are out to unalive him. It says Ray J is opening up about attempting to take his own life and alleges that people are out to kill him. On Friday, November 15th, a new episode of the Jamal Bryant podcast was released on YouTube. Furthermore, the episode featured Ray J. Amid the 46-minute conversation, Pastor Bryant questioned Ray J about a moment in his life where he thought of unaliving himself. That moment reportedly occurred in July of 2022 when Ray posted an alarming message on his Instagram story. Shout out to Lovely T. I don't know if you guys remember this, but it was alarming. Again, we covered this on this channel. He said, if it wasn't for my kids, I would have jumped off and I would have died tonight. In response, he said, that was when I attempted it. And I really didn't want to do it. And I really did want to do it. I be feeling like that night really happened. In a separate clip, Ray then called himself a liar, explaining he's lied about his whole life. He says, unless I say these people did this to me, they're very bad people and they've been controlling me the whole time. Y'all come to kill me, bro. They'll come and they'll unalive me for this. Ray J continued. So again, I'm not that type of victim. I don't know in what space somebody comes forward and says this stuff. But because he does it in a way that, you know, 1 minute he might be joking, the next minute he might be talking about taking his own life. We don't know. The point is, it doesn't necessarily have to make sense to us. When we get all of the information, then it paints the bigger picture. We move on to this year where Ray J said he was sexually assaulted by his former babysitter. Ray J made the setting he was in a bit uncomfortable after revealing he was sexually assaulted by his babysitter. While on his Twitch stream, surrounded by women, the One Wish singer talked about the assault. My babysitter R-worded me, he said. One of the women responded and said, we listen and we don't judge. Another woman laughed due to being uncomfortable, and Ray J interjected and said, it's not funny. She R-worded me. She had some big titties. She made me suck on them. She made me suck her titties. He was then asked if the event traumatized him. However, he didn't answer the question. He went on to explain the incident in detail and said the babysitter allegedly put him in a headlock and exposed herself to him. So I want to go here. No, we don't need to do that because we're going to play another clip. Oh, yeah, no, we can do it here. Hold on. I think that Shannon Sharp, although he gets the views, I don't think that this was an interview that a person like him could really dive into because of his own proclivities.
The note, but you were right on the motherfucking money. How you doing? Okay, so yeah.
When you were younger, what was it about was it the allure of an older woman? It was the fact that somebody was like 15, 20, 30 years older than you. What was your attraction? Was it the name? Was it the allure? What was it?
You know, with an older woman back in the day when I was like 15, 14, I had a girl, she was like 34. I'm like 14. How long is that? 14, 20. That's
19, 20 years.
20 years older. what the older woman made me realize was that I was dirty. And I needed to be clean. I need to be clean.
Yeah.
I need to be cleansed. I was dirty, right? Literally. Dirty minded, dirty in the field, and bodily dirty. So my little 30-year-old, like she was, I think 34, I'm gonna say D. You know what I'm talking about?
And he still jokes and he plays with it, but again, it doesn't have to be digestible to us. Joking and playing D, you know who you are. He was 14, 15, and she was 34, 35. Now, initially, he said she exposed himself, but then in the scope of the interview with Shannon Sharp, he goes further.
So I would go over to her house. She had all white. And what happened was she told me to take a shower one day before I got in her bed. So I took a shower. I just rubbed myself. I thought I did. I mean, everywhere. Shit. I get out the shower and I take the white towel and I dry myself off. And the towel, dirty as a dirty, it's still dirty. Yeah. I mean, I probably bathed myself drying off better than I did in the shower, right? Towel dirty than a motherfucker. So she started tripping. That ain't how I go. So she put me.
Do you see what I mean about Shannon not necessarily having the capacity to understand, process, and I don't know, just be a normal person? This man is saying that he's 14 or 15 and his 34-year-old babysitter is bathing him and being sexual with him. And Shannon is sitting there giddy and he's laughing. That's disturbing, to say the least. That is disturbing, to say the least. You can hear him.
Listen.
Is it true? If I go out of
Shay, you have a fucking... I get out the shower and I take the white towel and I dry myself off. And the towel, dirty as a... Dirty, it's still dirty. Yeah. I mean, I probably bathed myself drying off better than I did in the shower, right? Towel dirty than a motherfucker. So she started tripping. That ain't how I go. So she put me in the tub in roses and bathed me every night until I got in the bed. And the tub was, I mean, it was unsittable.
That laugh is unsettling.
Nobody could sit in there after that. It was just a pool with the ring around it. It was really dirty. Yeah. So they really taught me how to be clean. And that's why I love an older woman, because they really just, they like bathed me. They cleansed me of all dirt and all sin back in the day. And I'll never forget them.
You still interested in older women?
I'm old now, so I can't, I don't know.
I don't even know if Shannon knew what he was articulating. So we've seen the Ray J joking. We've seen the Ray J trolling. But Ray J has had some very significant moments of telling the world that he is struggling at certain times. And it seems like a lot of it stems from what may have occurred with him as a child. Like a lot of times that stuff really continues to impact you. And we've seen him be like very sexual, i.e. he's known for the tape with Kim Kardashian, but you can't see Ray J and not see the entire story. This was like a kid. We have him saying that his homie was trying to get him to do stuff that he wasn't really necessarily interested in. There was another interview that Danny Boy had said that he didn't actually deem certain things gay. It would just be more of, I don't want to misquote him, but he said like there were R&B singers that he was messing around with at the time of Death Row Records who are now married with children, and they would be doing man, woman, man type threesomes. And he thought that the things that he was doing with like the more download things was just like quote unquote technically freaky. So he has specifically not said that. I mean, he went back and forth. He said that, you know, everybody's coming out of the closet today along with him. He said he wouldn't go into the full details of all of the sexual stuff that he allegedly did with Ray J. But then at the end of the interview, he says he's not saying that Ray J is gay because he just wants a scooty bike. So I then started thinking about like, well, the psyche around Danny Boy, because we've seen Ray J, and strange enough, Ray J has very similar outbursts to Kanye West. And we now know that, or based on what Kanye has said in his songs, part of the reason that Kanye West has these outbursts might be because of his incestuous relationship with his younger cousin, and how the younger cousin went to prison after Kanye cut him off from that sexual relationship. The cousin unalived a pregnant woman and has now been in prison, I think since his teens. And we see Kanye again having similar outbursts in public spaces to Ray J. There's so many weird, strange connections that they both have, both being young and in Hollywood. We don't really know specifically. I'm not going to call Ray J gay. I don't know that man's personal business like that. I can just go based off these interviews, but there's something there. Both haven't been with Kim Kardashian. Ray J had the tape with her. Kanye wants to now do his own quote unquote corn company where he produces tapes. They both have these kind of outbursts. It makes you think, what are the other similarities? It's kind of weird. It's a little bit freaky. But it has me viewing Ray J differently. I always thought he was like funny when he's trolling and he's meant to be funny. And then I didn't really know how to take when he was saying things like, my babysitter did this, and look how big her titties were. It went over my head until I really started like researching Ray J, researching the fact that he had access to Death Row Records at such a young age. Although Snoop was his cousin, that does something to you.
Experience from the beginning when I was a little kid with my babysitter. My sister was on the phone talking to her drill team instructor. Me and my babysitter was playing hide and go seek. It was really hide and go get it. I don't know if you heard that game. We was playing hide and go seek. I ran into one room. She's like, I caught you. I'm like, damn. Then she went in another room. She said, I caught you. She put me in a headlock. I'm like, damn, her titty big on me. I remember as a kid. And I'm like, and I thought that she was just going to headlock me and shake it off. I had a traumatic experience.
So again, he sprinkles stories into multiple interviews, and you really have to go back and watch all of these to get the full picture. But I don't know what happened to this boy, but something happened to him, and I think that it has reverberated throughout the rest of his life. Additionally, I think that we're still in a space where if a younger boy does something with an older woman, it's almost like a rite of passage, i.e. Boosie saying that he paid for prostitutes to come and sleep with, I want to say his kids were, it was between 13 and, well, to be safe, we'll say 15, but I think it was 13, 14-year-old son and nephew. He paid for prostitutes to come and take their virginity. It's deemed as a rite of passage. So it's never, I think we're now finally getting into a space where people understand that that is a kid being taken advantage of. Even down to the stuff that we thought was funny at the time.
First and foremost, for records, I never used that term.
You didn't use the term booty goose?
I said booty goose. That term.
Oh.
But it sounds better than an ass. That's
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Come on, man. Stop it, man.
They're gonna wake that in that over and stick it in that.
All right.
No, I never said that name. But I did say
stick it in.
It was crazy. You know what I'm saying?
We actually had to cut.
I don't know what world I was in. Like I was in at that moment. I was in Carson. I was in Compton.
We live, Charlamagne.
That was cold blooded.
You do know.
First and foremost, for records, I never used that term.
You didn't use the term booty goose?
I said booty goose.
That term.
But it sounds better than an ass. That's
let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Come on, man. Stop it, man.
They're gonna wake that in that over and stick it in that.
All right.
No, I never said that name. But I did say
stick it in.
It was crazy.
That was when he was beefing. I remember this live. I watched this live back when you couldn't miss an episode of The Breakfast Club. And nobody knew what he was on. We didn't know if he was geeked up. We did not know what was going on with Ray J, but we knew that he wanted it with Fabulous. Now, let's move on to Danny Boy, because again, I didn't really know too much about him. Of course, I know the songs he was in with Tupac, but I didn't know the history. I didn't even know the Mary J. Blige allegations up until you guys told me. So for those of you who don't know, after he wrote his book, which was about 7 years ago, he went on multiple interviews and talked about certain incidents. One just happened to be an incident where he was allegedly 16 and sleeping with Mary J. Blige.
Baby mama, and I think Casey's baby mama was up there. No, it wasn't. It was Devontae's baby mama and Mary and a couple other chicks that was at the table. And we talking and we drinking. And I'm kind of excited. Again, I'm from the west side of Chicago, and who doesn't look up to Mary J. Blige as like, one of the queens, of that time. She's a queen of R&B at that time, at least in the hood. And we up there chilling and drinking. And I think after I left for a little while, we was talking. I think I left out, and Suge called me back up to the room. He said, "Come back upstairs, man. Old girl want to see you." Fuck is old girl? I think one of the other girls that was at the table. And I get up there to the room. Suge's in his room, and Misa's sitting on the bed with a sheet wrapped around her. And you can kind of see like a nice body, and she got this sheet wrapped around her.
So again, Ray J alleged that Danny Boy had tried to get him into gay stuff. Danny Boy said that he was a close friend of Ray J. I think they're about like 3 years apart, but Ray J was still unable to drive. So that places him around 15, maybe 16, and that makes Danny Boy around 18 years old and an actual death row artist. But the concept of I didn't force him to do anything was lost when we're talking about an age gap and quote unquote young and unable to drive and didn't even have their driver's license and things of that nature. So it gets fuzzy. I'm not saying that Danny Boy in any way groomed Ray J. That's not what I'm saying. But in the context of this interview, they leave a lot of gray area. So then you have to start looking at, well, what was Danny Boy doing? And then when you hear that Danny Boy was allegedly with Mary J. Blige, and we'll get into some more stuff of underage stuff with him particularly, everything gets jumbled. Everything gets mixed. All of these, it all becomes a gray area to a group of people who are around very sexual, promiscuous, older people all the time. It's to a point where you don't even know technically right from wrong because everybody around you is doing it.
And Mary's sitting on the couch. So I know the girl that he in the bed with don't want me. So when he closing and shit, and I sit down and I start talking to Mary. And inside I'm about to lose it because I'm actually sitting here talking to Mary. She's sitting on the couch and shit, and we ordered some food and some more drinks. Somebody knocked on the window, and I'm like, oh man, I don't care. I'm talking to him. I don't care who he is. When it came to KC at that time. Right. So, and she laying on the couch, and I'm sitting on the other end, and she lay down on the couch and put her head in my lap. I'm like, damn. He can't be talking about Mary. He was talking about she wanted me to come back up here, and now she's on my lap. And I'm sitting there and I'm wondering, I'm like, okay, what is this?
Mind you, he started the story by saying that Suge Knight called him upstairs. And only two things happen when Suge Knight calls you upstairs. He said the first would be he has a girl for you. And the second would be that you're about to get your ass beat. In this instance, he's alleging that he was called upstairs and Suge had a woman for him. And this, at this point, Danny Boy is 16 years old.
Too. And she stayed a couple more hours. And we decided to go in another room because it was sweet. We went in another room and lay down. And she lay down with me. She kind of like backed up against me. And every time she backed up against me, I would move away and shit, And from that time, I had an opportunity to go out to New York and visit her a couple more times. But, that's why I was kind of confused when I heard Kurt saying that Mary was pot girl. Because at that time, she was my girl. At that time, I'm 15, 16 years old, and she flying me in.
Now, he just said 15 to 16 years old.
To see her. And you know what it is when a girl back up on you, you young and shit, and I'm trying to show her that she ain't phasing me. I'm hard as goddamn. She's backing up against me. This Mary J. Blige. And quite nice with the guy. I mean, I don't even know if you're supposed to say you had sex with people on camera. Anyway, whatever. I'm not quite sure, but
relations.
Yeah, we had relations. That's a good way. That's a good way to put it out. And I said it in the book, and I was saying it because it was my Instagram moment, I should say, before Instagram came out. Or that was my moment. That was my social media moment to be able to say that in the book, because had it been cameras or something around or being able to make.
So then you start, Mary never really talked about it. The closest thing I could find to her response to this was this clip.
Fans are in groups talking about how it helped them to become better people or save their lives. It's overwhelming. It's too much love in it, and you get it from the horse's mouth instead of on paper from a reporter. Reporter. Mouth instead of, and you get it from the horse's mouth instead of on paper from a reporter.
So this would have been after the book was released and after he did that interview. The closest thing I could find to a response to it. We hear a lot from Danny Boy in this video, but I think after you'll see this video, because even one of the people who I was speaking with today, who is a sexual assault survivor, was like, well, to them, it feels like Danny Boy just says stuff, just puts stuff out there. So everybody was sleeping with Danny Boy. But when you hear this particular interview from another artist named Jewell, who sang the song Woman to Woman, and she was like the first lady of Death Row Records, it gives credence to what he was saying.
My baby
about how you came to Boy. I did an interview with Danny Boy, and he told a story about how you came to his hotel room one day and you gave him fellatio. He also told the same story in his book. You told a story in your book about you and Joell's. You care to share that story?
Yeah, what part of it?
I mean, in your book, you said that she gave you fellatio.
The best. The best. No disrespect.
So give me the backstory on that. How did that come about?
Well, I was my baby mama gonna kill me because I had a baby mama at this time. And the funny thing is that people have been saying, watch out for Joell. She gonna da-da-da-da. And I'm like, no, she's not. And I'm young and she's older. And she came to the room one time and for respect of her kids and everybody, I won't say everything, but yeah, we started messing around a couple times and she started getting a little serious. And Joell was a little really gangster. Like Joell would also, she would do all these things. It was the best at whatever everybody says she's the best at, but you can get your ass whipped by Joell at the same time. So to be around her at that time at such a young, was it Tiger? The vet, she was age. It was kind of considered around her at that time at such a young age. It was kind of considered like, what do they call it? The vet. She was my first vet, I guess I could say.
Right.
The first vet, was it Tiger? Yeah, she was the first vet that I kind of messed around with, and she was the first lady at Death Row. Came to my room, and she knew I had a girl. She kept telling me some. I think she said some shit like, who is this crazy ass girl? Everybody talking about this crazy girl, and she was talking about my daughter's mom. Like, yeah, whatever. She talking, sitting on the bed when smoking weed, and she was like, she's so worried about this little ass boy or something. I'm just talking stuff back.
So she's so worried about this little ass boy, talking about his current baby mama. Now, mind you, he had a baby mama while he was underage as well.
The next little sentence out of my mouth, she had to pull my pants down. And I look forward to her to pull my pants down all the time after that.
Yo. I did. Now listen to how I'm almost tempted to let you see this video. Listen to how she responds to this.
I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm 53 now. I took so much like thug crashing and weed and ecstasy. I can't remember back in the days when I did, but if he said I did it, I don't even remember. Danny Boy, let's hide to me. Okay. Well, let me be real.
So she's joking around talking about what size was he.
So let me say that my disobedience to the Lord is your salvation. If I did, which I think I did, give Danny Boy the
which I think I did. Now, I think Danny, like to impress, she's no longer with us, but Danny Boy, I think, is 47, and she would have been, I think, 55 or 56 currently. So that would put her at what? If he's like 16, she's 23, maybe 24.
Jewell experienced back in the days. I didn't know he was under no age now. He trying to make me seem like I'm like Law and Order, SVU, Special Victims Unit. I watch that all the time. Anybody know me? Law and Order and Monk.
You would be.
Maury, You Are the Father. And Steve Wilkos. Those are my favorite songs. And the News, of course. So I would have never got with Danny Boy if he was underage. Now, Danny Boy had a fake ID.
You just told us that you did do it.
When he came to Death Row. So I thought he was legal.
How would you know if he had a fake ID when he came to Death Row? You weren't the intake. You weren't HR. You were another artist. So people in the we'll get into the comments because people really enjoying her candor.
And Danny Boy, I thought he was really good. And at first I was angry. And some mother would have been missing their son right about now. But because Jewell knows to hold her peace and let the Lord fight her battles, then I have to really be honest to all the people out there.
Hold on one second. What did you say, California Cutie? Mims, me and some of my friends was in the studio with Danny Boy, KC, JoJo, and Aaron Hall. Tupac was late. We were so mad when we heard the song on the radio. Well, tell us, what were they doing in the studio? And how old were you? And not what they were doing. What were you doing in the studio with them? That's what we want to know.
No matter what I really thought Danny Boy's age was, had I not put his penis in my mouth, I would have never made this interview. So on that note, I would never have sex with an underage person knowing that I can go to jail. But I ain't gonna lie. From my husband to my ex-husband, most of the men that I was in a relationship, they were like 8 to 10 to 11 years younger than me. I'm old. They gotta hop it like a rabbit. So that's all I'm saying.
My mind, when I told you guys the stuff that people say would blow your mind, you are being accused of sexually assaulting a minor. You have gone back and forth by saying it did and or did not happen. After all of that, you end with you're attracted to younger men, and most of the men that she's been with are at least 8 to 10 years younger than her. I was in the Twilight Zone, deep diving in all this, and now y'all are in the Twilight Zone with me. Y'all see, this was supposed to be a 12-minute video just on Ray J and some of Ray J's challenges and some of the things that people have said in interviews about him and how we should potentially give him a little bit more slack because he experienced things, according to these interviews, at a young age that seems to be bothering him today in present day. This nasty woman just told us that she likes him young and that she probably did do it.
Say about that? Danny Boy, you know you was wrong. Danny Boy, the old Joell, I would have already been at your doorstep, at your mama's doorstep, at your kids' doorstep, and everybody you know doorstep. But the God I serve told me to hold my peace and let the Lord, as Tyler Perry would say, fight my battles. I'm going to tell you, as well as I'm going to tell everybody else, including the Nancy Fletchers and the people that I've been heard through the grapevine, putting my name in your mouth. Just because.
Well, you put him in your mouth. That's the problem. It ain't about other people putting their name or your mouth in their name. It's about what from him you put in his mouth when he was underage. That's the allegation. That's the allegation. I don't know what the hell is going on with these people. I know everybody likes to say it was a different time, but I do think that we need to give people like Ray J a little bit more slack, including myself, because apparently the man has been through some things. Yeah. And I'm moving forward going to be, if I do cover something, I'm going to be covering it in a different way, unless it's something just like funny. But outside of that, it's disturbing. God didn't have nothing to do with you being the head doctor of Death Row Records. Nothing. And it sounds like you would not have cared if he was younger because you just said you prefer people younger. Like, I don't even... This was supposed to be a 10-minute video, you guys, but I did... Most of my day was spent researching this, and I have a video. Hopefully, it can be a shorter video tomorrow, and it's going to be involving some really crazy stuff with Russell Simmons and some even crazier stuff with L.A. Reid. So I got to go through all these dockets, but Kimora then came out with some extra shit on Russell that was never actually put out. Kimora put an age on it. So I might combine those two videos. I might combine Russell Simmons and L.A. Reid, because we all know allegedly birds of a feather flock together. Yeah. I'm gonna leave it at that. Guys, I'm gonna see you tomorrow. I know we didn't even get to 1,000 likes, and I did a lot of research for this video. I really wish nothing but the best for Ray J. At this point, if you watch this whole video and you see the thoughts of unaliving themselves, you hear people's accounts and things that happened to him when he was much younger, give him just a little bit more slack. It may not be easily digestible, but the content itself is not easily digestible. And I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, and like the video on the way out. See y'all tomorrow.